Joining me now is Victoria's Shadow Treasurer James Newbury. I'll get onto those financial figures in a minute, James, but how tragic is it we're paying out a criminal $1 million and an old man falls on his kitchen floor and dies in his own house?
Look, I mean, when you're a Victorian, the sad thing is you're used to this government siding with criminals. So I'm not reflecting on that specific case, but when you live in Victoria, it's topsy-turvy. You know, when it comes to the law, full stop, you know this government sides with criminals, not victims. And this isn't the first time on the case of the poor fellow from Blackburn. You know, this isn't the first time. We saw during COVID tens of people, including young children, dying waiting for ambulances. The government still hasn't fixed the ambulance system. You know, can you imagine calling an ambulance and dying waiting simply because the government's mismanaging the healthcare system? How did we get to this point? And frankly, how have we not fixed it? And why haven't we heard the Premier screaming about how much we need to fix it? I mean, I haven't heard her apologise. I haven't heard her talking about the need to fix it. I mean, this state is upside down.
Yeah, we're almost a third world country, it would seem to me. Let's get on to the Treasurer, Jacqueline Symes. She's a lawyer, so she's got no economic background. Flies to New York, stays there for 48 hours or so, flies back. She's been warned by the ratings agencies that our public service debt's too high, infrastructure spending needs to be cut back. And the best she could do, James, was suggest she felt, quote, a sense of doom for America, and then laughingly called Victoria a stable, offering opportunity city for the rest of the world. I mean, she's serious?
Yeah. And then the credit rating agencies contradicted everything she said. They said there are fundamental issues which we know with the government's mismanagement, so completely contradicted everything she said. I think the fact that they've put us on a credit rating watch tells us why we have the worst credit rating in the country. But this is the same Treasurer who only a couple of weeks ago went into a really big event and said to industry, what's your favourite tax? I mean, is this Treasurer serious? We have the worst taxes in the country, the most taxes in the country, and the Treasurer thinks that the room is sitting there gagging to pick the best one. Well, they all know which, they've all got a favourite that they don't like. In fact, they've probably got a list of what they don't like. I mean, frankly, the Treasurer can't help but fall over her own feet. She went overseas to beg for our credit rating not to be downgraded. And of course, we don't want it to be downgraded. We want it to be fixed. I just think that the entire state and probably the whole country knows this government hasn't got a good track record of making sure that happens. I think we all know with a nearly $200 billion debt, that's $1.2 million an hour in interest, they're not going to fix it.
Yes, it's also been reported that she told her staff to stop using economic terms because she doesn't understand them. I mean, do you believe her pledge? And interestingly, when I wrote about this today, I said don't use the word promise because she deliberately used the word pledge to cut public service jobs. I mean, the unions are not going to let her do that.
And not just that. This government multiple times over multiple years has said before a budget and around budget time, we're going to reduce the size of the public service. And guess what happens come the next budget? They've spent more money on the public service, not less, more money. I mean, to give your viewers some context, the amount between what they promise at budget time to spend and the amount they actually spend is $14 billion in blowouts on average every year they've been in government. Just think about that. I mean, it's nearly 15% more than the entire budget they have every year in blowouts. The blowouts are astonishing. So what they put in writing at the start of the year and what they spend, 15% above, $14 billion on average in blowouts. You can't believe anything they say.
No, you can't. And today, because it's Friday, and that's why I like being on a Friday, because governments drop bad news, guess what? They've told farmers who deny access to their land to energy transmission lines, which they want to plough through farms all over Victoria, will now face fines of over $12,000. And if they refuse to give their name, will be fined $4,000 if they refuse access. I mean, this is a huge issue, James, and this is going to end very badly.
It's shocking, and they're doing this not just to regional Victoria, but also in the city. In short, for people not from Victoria, the government is taking over planning controls. And as you rightly said, they're now saying to farmers, we're going to come along with a massive stick if you say no. And in the city, they're going to impose big new taxes in the areas that they want to build. I mean, what the government's doing is draconian. I mean, they are taking away people's rights. They're fining you if you don't like it and if you speak out. And by the way, if you speak out, they're not going to listen to you. The only way we can stop this stuff is to change the government. And in 18 months, we have to do it. We desperately have to change this government.
I'm not that concerned about what happened with John Prosciutto and Moira Deeming. In the end, it's over now and he's going to get the money as a loan. He's going to pay it off. One thing I want to play and get your reaction to, though, I don't know Deputy Premier Ben Carroll. I thought that he was a reasonable sort of bloke when you compare him to some of those other front benches from the Victorian government. But have a look at what he had to say about the arrangement that was agreed to by the Victorian Liberal Executive Committee last night in regard to John Prosciutto. Have a look at this.
They say they're the party of family values, but they're very happy to provide a commercial rate loan of more than $1 million and boast about it to their members. It just goes to show, if this is how the Liberal Party treat each other, can you imagine how they would treat Victorians if they were ever to form government?
Seriously, James?
You know, when you watch things like that, you just can see the grubby nature of this government, can't you? I mean, you can see that the first thing they do is to get into the gutter. I don't think anyone who's followed politics in this country ever can take advice from the Labor Party or the union movement on probity, on good behaviour, on manners. I mean, on anything positive, you certainly can't take advice. But you know, this guy's supposedly Deputy Premier of the state. And, you know, it's probably a bit impolite to say, but didn't he just look like a bit of a grub?
I couldn't disagree with that. I mean, I thought it was just a really, really unnecessary comment. And, I mean, he needs to do a hell of a lot better than that. James, thanks as usual. I'll talk to you shortly. James Newbury there, the Shadow Treasury spokesman.